Police authorities direct territorial commanders to check private security companies on standing licenses, while the 2024 Uganda Boxing National Open starts. It's news tonight. We warmly welcome you. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, in our first story, has met TotalEnergies President for Exploration and Production, Nicholas Terraz, who paid him a courtesy call at State House in Entebbe. President Museveni welcomed Terraz to Uganda and assured him of government support. Terraz has been visiting the oil exploration sites under the Tilenga project. He briefed President Museveni on the progress of the project and solicited more support to ensure the success of the operations. He confirmed that drilling and pipeline activities are going on well at the oil project that now employs over 8,000 Ugandans. He was accompanied by Mike Sangster, the Senior Vice President, Africa TotalEnergies, Felipe Goreis, General Manager TotalEnergies, EP Uganda, Martin Tiffen, Managing Director, East African Crude Oil Pipeline, and Mariam Nampera, the Deputy General Manager, TotalEnergies EP Uganda. The meeting was also attended by Minister for Energy and Mineral Development, Ruth Nankabirwa, Minister for Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Matia Kasaija, and officials from the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development. TotalEnergies, that operates in over 130 nations worldwide, is a global integrated energy company that produces and markets fuel, natural gas, and electricity. In Uganda, Tilenga project is operated by TotalEnergies, and it includes the development of 6 oil fields and drilling about 400 wells from 31 locations. From State House Entebbe, we go now to more news. Uganda National Roads Authority has already kick-started the repair of the broken road at Nakasozi in between Budo and Chengera along Masaka Road. UNRA Regional Manager, Central Region, Engineer Julius Musinguzi, says that the repairs will be done within 24 hours.
By 10 a.m., Uganda National Roads Authority had already assembled all the necessary equipment to repair the broken part of the road around Nakasozi, Masaka Road. The road in between Budo and Chengera caved in on Saturday night due to the heavy downpour that washed away part of the road, leading to diversion of traffic. UNRA Regional Manager Central, Julius Musinguzi, told UBC that the road caved in due to the water pressure arising from human activities on the swamp.
The material may not have been weak as such, but only that it was overwhelmed by the volumes of water, and there was infiltration of water into it. I think because of land use and what, the water now is concentrating more on this place because they have filled in some parts, so the water has come. Because you can see before, I think this swamp was a little bit big and it was spread, so the water would pass easily with the drainage structure they had put in place. But now, after filling everywhere, water is now concentrated in a small place, so we need to change the structures now.
He says UNRA has assembled stronger material to encounter the water pressure to avoid a reoccurrence of the incident.
We're trying to install a culvert in that section and backfill it properly, so that by end of today, we hope people should be able to use the road.
Due to the emergence of the road, restoration works are expected to be complete within 24 hours.
We are working tooth and nail to see that the vehicles pass, because there's a lot of traffic here. You can see even how people are jammed, so we have to restore it in the shortest possible time.
The Directorate of Traffic and Road Safety has asked the general public to use alternative routes to access and exit the city as repair works are done.
We appeal to the public to exercise discipline and patience and follow the directives of traffic personnel on ground.
The diversion has caused heavy traffic jam, paralyzing business along Masaka Road, leaving alternative and feeder routes banged up in heavy traffic.
I appeal to the government institutions, more importantly the union, to play their role in time. The road is impassable. There is another road which would help us to decongest this jam, that is Nakauka Road. But it has appeared in many different budgets, but all in vain. If Nakauka Road had been constructed, maybe this situation would not be as it is.
This has led to double transport fares by both passenger vehicles and border borders.
Okuva emayo kutuuka wano ku Nakasozi bandeetedde 13. Kati ate okuva wano okweyongera Kampala owa boda ngambye omutwalo 1.5. Ngamba kiki kino.
Busiro, Member of Parliament Medad Segona, has called upon her government to work on access roads to reduce pressure on the main road.
For UNRWA and government, we've been telling them to work on these feeder roads, these connecting roads. First, these are security roads, because if you keep people in a jam here and a suicide bomber or a terrorist came, he would kill 1,000 people between Busega and Chengera.
He further called for enforcement of wetland conservation by reining on the untouchables that are encroaching on Gazette wetlands.
You spend $1 billion refilling a wetland to put up a storied building. That's not civility, that's not civilization. So we must start with human action.
On the contrary, the alternative Wachimese-Chengera Budo access road is also gradually caving in due to heavy traffic. The access road is being washed away due to the water pressure from the swamp.
Kigoma kyo kyaguddemukko side emu naye nga emmotoka zasigadde ziyita side emu. Tujja kusaba aba traffic basobole okubeera nga bajja okudirecting emmotoka zino tuleme kweyongera funa bubenje ku luguudo luno.
Apparently, police has issued a travel advisory for exit and entry to Kampala that include Katende to Nakauka roundabout through Kasenge to Natete, Nakauka to Entebbe through Chisubi, off Budo Kasenge Lweza to Entebbe traffic lights, Katende Mabuye Bujuko to Mityana Road. Susan Naung and Juman Samba reporting for UBC TV.
The police authority has directed police territorial commanders to take action on private security companies violating standard licensing regulations. Upon registration of tremendous increase in gun violence incidents by private security guards, police have revoked 7 company licenses and suspended over 20.
Uganda Police Force has instructed territorial police commanders to take action against the increasing cases of gun violence among private security companies.
On a number of occasions, we've seen lone armed private security guards negligently carry their guns. Others loiter aimlessly with their guns. Others use borders, which are all risky methods. We've directed all our territorial commanders to arrest individual errant security guards in breach of the guidelines that we gave them.
Private security companies' proprietors are reminded to revise licensing set statutory guidelines and accord required compliance.
Also compiling and sharing data on concerning behaviors. We've talked about disqualification and cancellation of security guards from possessing or receiving firearms. We are also carrying out better auditing processes or features at the Department of the Private Security Organization and Civilian Firearms.
In different operations to crack down errant security guards, police arrested some officers, revoking 7 licenses and suspending 20 companies from operation.
We have 7 private security organizations that are being vetted with the intentions of having the licenses cancelled. Then an additional 20 private security organizations are also being evaluated for suspension for a period so that they can comply with the guidelines that we've given them.
Police also accused the private security companies of manipulating police uniforms and those of the army.
But this is illegal and it must stop immediately. For private security organizations, the regulations are very clear that we gave to them. And even for other individuals and groups, the unauthorized duplication and manipulation of rank insignia and accoutrements of the police and other sister agencies like the UPDF and prison services, the police is a violation of the laws.
A new curriculum to ensure the training and release of qualified private security guards has been released. Meanwhile, the territorial police in Arua have apprehended a 43-year-old Ajal Victor Adami for impersonating as a staff from Ministry of Education and Sports and defrauding of 35 staff members of 35 million shillings for job placement and promotions.
We took swift action, tracked down the suspect and managed to arrest him. So Ajal Victor Adami was apprehended. We are processing him for personation of education officials from the Ministry of Education and for obtaining money by false pretense from 35 teaching and directive staff.
Abdunasili Lubwama and Rogers Komagum for UBC.
The Chief of Defense Forces in Uganda, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, has paid tribute to the late General Francis Ogola and the fallen Kenyan CDF, describing him as a man of vast military experience and expertise. This eulogy has been delivered by the Air Force Commander, Lieutenant General Charles Okidi, who represented General Muhoozi at the burial ceremonies of the late in Ngia Village, Siaya County, in Kenya.
On Sunday, 21st April 2024, mourners led by the Kenyan President William Ruto gathered at Ngia Village in Siaya County to pay last respects to the fallen former CDF of Kenya, General Francis Ogola.
Above all, he was a leader, he was a commander, and he was a mentor.
From Uganda, the commander of the Defense Forces, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, conveyed his heartfelt condolences to the Kenyan fraternity through Lieutenant General Charles Okidi, the UPDF Air Force Commander.
And from Uganda, sir, a delegation led by Lieutenant General Charles Okidi, the Air Force Commander.
In the eulogy read to the mourners verbatim, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba recounted the latest direct contribution to the UPDF Army during the 2012 rescue efforts of the 2 helicopter crew members in Mount Kenya. Muhoozi noted that the late Ogola, who was by then the commander of the Nyanyuki Air Base, climbed the mountain to search for the survivors, a gesture which will never be forgotten by Uganda. The CDF further described General Ogola's death as unfortunate to Kenya and the entire sub-region. Muhoozi implored KDF comrades to honor General Ogola's legacy by continuing to work towards a more secure East Africa and Africa, a vision he says the late cherished. Lieutenant General Charles Okidi was accompanied by Major General Moses Rwakitarite, the coordinator National Vital Assets and Strategic Installations, Major General Don Nabasa, the 3rd Division Infantry Commander, and Colonel David Lumumba, the Director of International Relations, Defense, Intelligence and Security.
Kabidhi bendera ya taifa la Kenya, hali kadhalika bendera ya majeshi ya ulinzi ya Kenya.
At the burial, General Ogola was accorded a 19-gun salute. Robert Onyango, UBC News.
We commit you to the Lord as you will be feeling.
Meanwhile, the Uganda People's Defense Forces, that's the UPDF, has retired 150 senior officers from the 13th batch at the Ministry of Defense and Veterans Affairs headquarters in Buya. General Muhoozi presided over the function and urged the retirees to maintain discipline. Among the retired are 23 full colonels, 88 at the rank of lieutenant colonel, and 39 at the rank of major.
Sacrifice is too great. The officers and men of the UPDF have demonstrated this commitment to serve the country over decades and through countless operations. The young soldiers and officers you're leaving behind. Serving in Operation Shujaa, in Somalia, in Karamoja, and other places are carrying forward this noble tradition. We are proud of them for following in our footsteps. Today, we also remember the glorious comrades who died protecting Uganda from rebellions and terrorism. May their memories live forever. So congratulations once again for completing your service and for being able to walk out of these gates with good and clean records. However, you must already know that for some professions like ours, one never really retires. Being a soldier is not a job like other jobs. It is a vocation, it is a calling. You do not hear of a monk or a priest retiring. They can step back from a full-time assignment, like being a parish priest, but theirs is a lifelong commitment to the church.
We congratulate the officers for having served their nation right. Meanwhile, shop traders in downtown Kampala justified last week's close-down strike that started from the 16th to the 19th of April 2024, asserting that it was important to compel government to act on what they deem as a repressive tax regime on business. Mark Arnold Wadulo explores how much both traders and taxmen could have lost within the 4-day strike.
Of course we closed because we are part of the business community.
The shop closed down last week by traders in downtown Kampala could not have missed losses, as traders observe government's next steps in addressing the high taxes levied on their businesses. Olivia Nalugo owns and operates a beddings shop on the monumental Mini Price building located in the heart of downtown Kampala. She justifies the strike for the survival of her business and wonders why government had to wait for traders to act against the repressive taxes in spite of not educating them about Fisheries.
Naye nga Fisheries tetugigaana naye kye twebuuza nti oyagala nfulumye receipt eyo nga ntaddeko 18%, naye nga ne gye mbiguze gye nabiguze nayo nataddeko 18%. Kitegeeza nti ngenda kusasula 18% eyo emirundi n'emirundi.
On trying to probe on how much a shop trader averagely earns and spends in a month, Ivan Mawanda, operating an electronics shop on Market Street's Platinum House, preferred not to disclose his books.
Just know it's some good money. And as per traders, I know that's the kind of information Fisheries is trying to look for. But at times it's better not to disclose.
After probing more on why he opts not to disclose, he finally explains a regular scheme traders often use to make a sale.
I get a customer, I don't have the item, I'll pick it from the neighbor. So it means I'm not going to put that money in my what? In my books. So it will be the neighbor's books. That VAT is supposed to be paid from the starting point, either the manufacturer or the importer.
A trader operating a ground shop like Nalugo's of more than 100 square meters and above on a mall in downtown Kampala pays rent between 5 to 16 million shillings per month.
Olunaku fete tusijja gamba sente zenkoze naye wabula nkugamba nti mbambala nti rent olunaku waki nnokola sente bweziti nzijjeko rent nzijjeko abaana benkozesa nzijjeko transport nzijjeko buli kimwe at least nfiseewo okwo nsuubule naye kati okuva lockdown bwe yajja tetukyayina mbalirira ntuufu tubalirira rent na mmere.
We also had a chance to speak to Ibrahim Bossa, URA's Corporate Affairs Manager, on phone about revenue Uganda lost from the 4-day strike.
Businesses file returns every end of the month. And when we're talking about end of the month, it is the 15th day of the next month after end of that month. Yes, so right now, because we are not collecting VAT right now, unless the people who, say for example, today is 22nd. We have to wait for 15th of next month to know how this period has affected VAT.
Considering that the URA computes value-added tax on the 15th of every month, it is still too early to know how much the taxman lost during the 4 days they were on a closed-down strike. Wadulo Mark Arnold for UBC News in downtown Kampala.
And from downtown, we'll take a very short break. Don't miss what we have on return. It's UBC News Tonight.
Fred!
Osmosis.
Freddy! Fred Dollar, my boss, CEO Inojo, the general of generals, the conqueror of conquerors, the first and the final, the sky above the skies, the promised land, the terms and the conditions, the international king crocodile, the source of the
Osmosis.
Nile.
I don't have money today.
Just take a polite loan of 200k to stock my shop. The signs and symptoms of success. The bank commander, not the bank teller.
Why hassle for a loan when you've got MTN Momo? We're sorting it. Use the Momo app or dial *165*5# for all quick loans. Choose from the different loan options from our partners and get one that works for you. Together, we're unstoppable.
Once upon a time, there lived identical twins who gave birth to beautiful princes and princesses.
Their mothers gave their babies' bodies a lot of care by applying on their skin with Baby Junior jelly.
So dried their targets and everyone would admire their glowing skin. Fun fact, Baby Junior prevents diaper rash, dry and sensitive skin.
Moms all over Africa love Baby Junior jelly. Baby Junior the skin. No more worries anymore. Baby Junior.
Baby Junior.
Hi Fifi, how are you?
I'm fine. Baby, whenever I eat chips and chicken, I feel stomachache, joint pain and body weakness.
My dear, go to MX Nutrition Center and learn the best food for your body. And get treatment according to your blood group.
Are you sure?
Yes.
By the way, do you know your blood group, genotype, and how much you need to exercise? Come to Timex Nutrition Center for professional advice on how to manage your health and immune boosting. At Timex, we treat diseases like diabetes, arthritis, ulcers, obesity, pressure, and many more. For details, find us at our headquarters in Kampala on Nasa Road, Conrad Plaza, 2nd floor. We also have a branch in Barara, or call us on 0758 819952 or 0778 288361. Timex, be your own doctor.
We thank you so much for watching and welcome you back from the break. It's UBC News Tonight. Resource-effective utilization and prioritization of very important needs of students are the tactics being used by the school administration Chitebi Secondary School to implement the Universal Secondary Education and APOLET government programs. During an inclusive interview with the headmaster Haj Mohammed Kamulegea, the school is mostly run by funds from the community and the support from government as specific needs it handles according to the Ministry of Education and Sports guidelines.
Chitebi Secondary School in Kampala is one of those that has been awarded a status of a model universal secondary education because it has implemented the government programs according to set guidelines and requirements. This is the school that President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of Uganda, and Janet Museveni said challenged them. They had visited the school to launch the Patriotism Environment campaign last week.
Na staff ye wakili kubanga bo bali kumutwala na mwetano omwaka.
He said, I'm giving you employment to your 70 teachers.
Accordingly, USE and UPLED programs require schools to instill discipline, ensure smartness, academic excellence of stakeholders, and promotion of hard work and quality education as per the vision of Ministry of Education and Sports. Under the Universal Secondary Education Program, each learner gets 20,000 shillings from government. The head teacher at Chitebi Secondary School, although did not disclose how much money the school receives from government, explained that those funds are used to handle utility expenses.
Agreed voluntarily that they would bring and they would contribute 50,000 things. And this money is the money used, for your information, to do all these developments you see in school. 50,000 shillings. We pay teachers, we construct, we do maintenance.
The President and the First Lady during their visit discovered that this community government-aided school charges 150,000 shillings per learner per term, which funds are provided by the community through different charges that include PTA 50,000 shillings and welfare 60,000 shillings.
We know is that we get some contribution as prescribed from the policy, and then we use it. But one thing I want to assure you is that it is inadequate. The electricity bills, they are very high. You realize that they're in around 12 million, and the water bond, whatever, every month could be around 18 millions. And that money is specifically for that. But what makes us productive and stand out of the crowd is to apply the principle of effective resource utilization.
One of the parents we interacted with, James Opio, has two students, one in O-level and the other in A-level. He says the school he used to take his children in Chambogo was too expensive and confirms that Chitebi charges 150,000 shillings per learner.
In Chambogo, they were being charged 700,000, and hostel, because they were sleeping in the hostel, they were paying 500,000. So when you add all together, it comes to 1.2 million. But when I came here and enrolled fully here, now we are paying a peanut of 150,000 only.
The school has also improvised a technology to track attendance for both teachers and students, plus alerting parents their children's presence at school.
The kid arrives in school, he reports here, captures his attendance, it is recorded in the system. A message is forwarded to a parent notifying him or her that your child, for example, Odong Jesper of Senior 2, has reported to school.
I'm Navka Farida and Dan Lukomwa in Kampala.
It's about 2 months since State Minister for Lands Dr. Sam Mayanja openly encouraged residents of Kayunga to occupy Badjo Forest Reserve. This has since rubbed some ecological-friendly and conservation advocates the wrong way of the minister's action. The State Minister for Environment, Beatrice Ati Manuar, insists Badjo is a forest reserve gazetted since 1968 under custody of the Ministry and National Forestry Authority.
The day was Thursday, 29th February 2024, when State Minister for Lands, Dr. Sam Mayanja, visited and addressed locals in Kayunga district. He proclaimed the purported non-existence of Badjo Forest Reserve and directed National Forestry Authority to vacate the area.
Kakati mwena badumira mudeyo mubibanja byamwe wano tewali kibira.
But the line minister in charge of environment, Beatrice Ati Manuar, seems to rescind the minister's decision.
Badjo Forest Reserve is a gazetted forest reserve since 1968. It has been, and it was regazetted again in 1998, and is under our custody. Yes, it was degraded, because originally it was a real forest, degraded.
About 4 years ago, this matter came to Parliament, raised by Kayunga District 2-man Member of Parliament, Aida Nantaba. She cited encroachers who were destroying the whole forest. This prompted a directive by the then Speaker, Rebecca Kadaga, for the line minister to inspect the place. This is what she found.
Over 20 tractors assembled, and we have seen sugarcane going on. But the issue is in court, so we cannot indulge so much in issues which is in court.
So we hope that the Minister for Environment, having observed and seen everything that is happening, is going to issue an order to restraining these grabbers from taking over forest land.
4 years after this intervention, Anwar is disappointed by the move recently made by her fellow minister.
He has cancelled the NFA Central Bajor Forest Reserve title there and then as a Minister of State for Lands. It is sad. There are procedures we took to gazette and such forest reserves, and there are procedures that we take if we so wish to degazette it. You just don't stand up. He has no power over that.
It is on record that 18 illegal land titles were created within Bajo Forest Reserve. National Forestry Authority is seeking to overturn this illegality, with 8 court cases currently pending against encroachers.
The community should not be misled to go and invade the forest reserve, because they are going to be held responsible, and we are going to prosecute them.
Against this backdrop, Minister Anwar is calling upon all stakeholders to work together in protecting the environment.
A gazetted forest reserve, when left and given time, it will regenerate. We have already a program as a ministry under NFA, where we have collaboration with the communities around these forest reserves, that such an area, we give them even an opportunity to be part of those who are regenerating the forest.
A study by Treescape Planet, a not-for-profit initiative, indicates that from 1921 to 2021, Uganda lost 41% of its forest cover. It was a total deviation from 1900, when Uganda's forest cover stood at 54%, which makes efforts for forest conservation more than needed. Henry Okrut, UBC.
The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Works and Transport, Wise Swabaligaya, says that government is proposing a 30 km/h speed limit in all urban areas. This was during the validation workshop for the draft traffic and road safety regulations of 2024 held at Imperial Royal Hotel in Kampala.
Under these proposed speed regulations, urban areas would see a reduction in the speed limit to 30 km/h strictly, while all built-up areas, for example along highways, would have a maximum speed limit of 50 km/h.
Participants, the current regulation on speed came into force in 2004. A lot has happened. So the purpose of this validation workshop, why you are here, is to obtain your views on the revised, updated regulations and ensure that your comments are incorporated. Participants, the country pledged and is committed to the implementation of the 30 km/h speed limit in the most vulnerable areas of our communities. where vulnerable road users and vehicle mix in frequent and planned manner.
According to the report, road crashes increased by a staggering 16% from 2022 to 2023, reaching a total of 23,608 incidents. Tragically, these accidents resulted in the loss of 4,806 lives and left 16,736 individuals seriously injured.
Many drivers do not recognize the risks involved, and often the perceived benefits of speeding outweigh the perceived outcomes. Somebody says, I want to test if mine can overtake this other vehicle there. There are these who drive new number plates. There are times we say, that is an old number plate. Why should it be ahead of me?
For the highways traversing urban areas, we have retained at 50 kilometers per hour because we also need mobility. Right? We also need mobility on those roads as well as safety. So if you are on Kampala Mbarara Highway, if you maintain the highway, you will drive at 50 kilometers per hour through Liatonde. If you decide to go into the town, the limit is 30 kilometers per hour. And that applies to motor vehicles constructed to carry passengers and dual purpose vehicles, meaning even the private cars. It applies to motorcycles, tricycles and quadricycles. It applies to public service vehicles and PMOs. It applies to motor vehicles that are drawing trailers. It applies to light goods vehicles, medium goods vehicles, heavy goods vehicles, tractors when drawing trailers and engineering plants.
By imposing lower speed limits in urban and built-up areas, the ministry hopes to create safer environments for both motorists and pedestrians alike.
The reason actually why even I think the global target is landed is maybe the crash, the impact will not be as high. You can knock a person, the person drops down, he will be injured, but the person may survive. But I can tell you, within Pembo, 30 kilometers, it is actually at high speed.
Crispus Arenitwe, Abdullah Silubwama, UBC News.
Fish processing factories have commended the work of the UPDF Fisheries Protection Unit in fighting illegal fishing activities. The commander of the Fisheries Protection Unit of the UPDF, Lieutenant Colonel Masi Tukahirwa, conducted inspections of fish processing factories to evaluate the relevance of the unit to the fishing industry.
The inspection of fish processing factories by the commander of the Fisheries Protection Unit of the UPDF, Lieutenant Colonel Masi Tukahirwa, was to ascertain the relevance of soldiers' operations on Ugandan waters.
Is to assess the fish stock and to create a positive working relationship between FPU and the fish factories. These factories are dealing in mature fish. And these mature fish, they bring that good turn up, like in terms of revenue, and even our fishing communities, they benefit more when they harvest the mature fish.
I think illegality should be controlled in the lake. That will automatically increase the Nile perch catch. We are working hand in hand with the FPU and with the industries. So only thing, good cooperation only will help us for industry also, for the country also, and the revenue also for the country.
These inspections foster collaboration between the Fisheries Protection Unit and the factories, which are primary destinations for harvested fish.
There is an increase in fish stock, and people are appreciating, like the owner of the factory, they are appreciating the work of FPU.
More licenses being issued, and the fishermen will have a wider customers.
Fish processing factories proprietors say these operations address use of illegal fishing gears and indiscriminate fishing methods.
The Fisheries Protection Unit has helped us to redeploy and have security in the lake so that we can have our assets out there being taken care of by the best in the nation.
And in last year, during the period of September, October, we had a very good catch. This is attributed to the control measures taken by the Fish Protection Unit, like stopping the hurry-up nets, which was a destructive way of fishing in Lake Victoria. So by stopping that, there is an improvement in the catches. So the fishermen, I'm sure that the fishermen will make money when the catch is better. They will improve the economic situation of the fishermen. We, Uganda Fish Processors and Exporters Association, we are very much thankful to Your Excellency the President, and also all the Minister and also the Lieutenant Colonel Mercy.
We had a very good catch and very good business for 2 years because we are full of fish. We developed the market again, people are ready to take our fish, we increase our employment. It was very nice.
During the tour, unit members visited various factories including Nyanza Fish Factory in Jinja, Lake Echo Fish Processing Limited in Entebbe, Fresh Patch Fish Factory in Entebbe, Lake Baunte Fish Factory in Ntinda, among others. Abdunasir Lobwama for UBC.
Bunyoro Kitara's NRM coordinator Harriet Hirwa Sali has urged locals to answer the president's call by actively participating in wealth creation initiatives that address poverty eradication. Speaking at a fundraising event held at Chakuterekera Parish Church of Uganda in Bugangaizi East Kakumiro district, she underscored the importance of education for children and advocated for adoption of intensive commercial farming.
In Bunyoro sub-region is a call for action as President Yoweri Museveni champions the cause of wealth creation. With the parish development model that bolsters household income, the Bunyoro Kitara NRM coordinator Harriet Sali Tibulihwa underscores the pivotal role of government programs.
As they involve themselves in government programs, this will help them eradicate poverty. I've also encouraged them to always promote the 4-acre model system. They shouldn't capitalize on one type of crop. They should venture into very many crops such that when this one flops, they are able to benefit from the other and thus developing on their household income.
Tibulihwa addresses the alarming rise of child marriages, urging parents to prioritize their child's welfare for a brighter future.
Here we are having UPE schools, and most of our children are going into those schools for their studies or for their education. By virtue of that, I've advised them to always liaise with the teachers in order to promote good standards of education. There are certain things children ought to have in schools, but those things are not catered for by government.
The parish priest of Chakuterekera Church of Uganda, Reverend Stephen Mbabazi, commends Tibulihwa's advocacy and urges men to fulfill their duties as family leaders, while emphasizing the empowerment of women in the community.
So one by one makes up, and when you empower your wife, you don't lose. Instead, you develop and you govern. So my fellow men who are not empowering their wives, they are losing a lot. What I'm urging them is they do support their wives to develop the Church of Christ, to develop their homes and the entire nation of Uganda.
Meanwhile, leaders of the Mothers Union in Chakuterekera Church called for accountability and support for the family.
Remain outside there, they should take responsibility. They share the responsibilities with their wives. They buy books, uniform, all scholastic materials they share with their wives instead of leaving their wives to sponsor their children in scholastic materials only.
Anye necundu kubaterera kugira ngo babashe kugumesiriza babashe kuguma mu maka gabo borora abana babo ubutabasha kubanagaho bagume baribanye n'amaka n'abashija babo basemerire okukurora.
Mary Namkose, Robert Bwaita, UBC News.
Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, in partnership with the Rotary Club of Muyenga, Tankil, and the Tindira Foundation, have passed out the initial batch of the Functional Adult Literacy Training of Trainers Program in Kabalagala Parish, Machindia Division.
That we don't have to wait to have all the money to start, because you will never be, if you wait to have all the money, you'll never be able to start. Having said, the ministry is now also looking to have the budget, money appropriated by the Ministry of Finance for this program. So thank you for being diligent students, for being committed. As I told you at the beginning, this is not only for the benefit of the community you are serving and the community you live in, but also for your own benefit as an individual, because you have acquired the skill. You haven't had to go and pay. All you needed to do is to devote time.
The program in full is integrated community learning for wealth creation. When you go through the LPL program, after the 2 years, you come out different. Facilitators to be open. It is better to do it wrongly than not to do it completely. Because when you do and make that mistake, we identify the mistake and we correct it.
On behalf of my team, I would like to thank the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, the Rotary Club of Muyenga Tankil for adopting Kabalagala. Thank you so much. Yes, I would say this program has come just in time. One, when we as the facilitators are most vibrant in the
Fred!
Osmosis.
Freddy! Fred Dollar, my boss, CEO Inojo, the general of generals, the conqueror of conquerors, the first and the final, the sky above the skies, the promised land, the terms and the conditions, the international king crocodile, the source of the Nile.
I don't have money today.
Just take a polite loan of 200k to stock my shop. The signs and symptoms of success. The bank commander, not the bank teller.
Why hassle for a loan when you've got MTN Momo? We're sorting. Use the Momo app or dial *165*5# for all quick loans. Choose from the different loan options from our partners and get one that works for you. Together, we're unstoppable.
The government of Uganda and the Uganda Bureau of Statistics is calling upon all stakeholders such as the chief administrative officers, city mayors, resident city commissioners, city clerks, city and division councillors, wards and LC chairpersons, as well as the residents and business communities to cooperate with the UBOS field teams as we embark on advanced preparations to conduct the National Population and Housing Census on the 10th of May 2024. The census will be a 10-day exercise to obtain statistical data and information that will be used for planning and policy formulation, including information on 1. How many we are, 2. Where we are, 3. How we are living, 4. What we own, and 5. Where we access services from. The Uganda Bureau of Statistics has now started listing of households and mapping in the 11 cities of Arua, Fort Portal, Gulu, Hoima, Jinja, Lira, Mbale, Masaka, Mbarara, Soroti, and in the Greater Kampala comprising of Kampala, Wakiso, and Mukono districts. For more information, please call 0755 342 128 or 0773 342 128. This message is brought to you by the Executive Director and Census Commissioner, Uganda Bureau of Statistics. Census 2024. It matters to be counted.
We've hit refresh with Castle Light. A premium new look. With the shiny silver label. An innovative cold indicator. A premium green neck label for a crisp and easy drinking beer. fresh new look. Experience the fresh Newcastle Light.
UBC Business News tonight. State Minister for Higher Education, Dr. Jesse Muyingo, has advised police to utilize the peace and stability across the country, engage in income-generating projects. This was contained in the message read for him by his personal assistant in Bunika.
Police can utilize available resources and engage in income-generating activities besides their official responsibilities. State Minister for Higher Education, Dr. John Chrysostom Muyingo, says this can reduce cases of corruption in police. This was contained in the minister's speech read for him by his personal assistant in Bunika, Abdul Karim Waswa, during a familiarization tour of various police projects supported by Minister Muyingo at Bunika Police.
Bakemanya abantu bw'omukolako obwere tawulira bulungi ayagala amale kuwaayo kantu nze mbaweerezaamu bano emyaka 7 naye baagala kuwaayo kaki mubeere faamu abantu baffe ne baleeta kintu kidogo kubanga bw'omala ogikwata ekulemesa okukola ekiki ekituufu. Nsaba tubeere bagumu ku bantu bonna abaleeta kintu kidogo wekiba kisoboka mukwate omuggalire na buggalizi ng'aleese kintu kidogo gyo.
The police projects supported by Dr. Muyingo include the building under construction. He supported with 100 bags of cement, perimeter wall, stone crushing projects and brick making, besides maize flour, rice and cooking oil. The officer in charge Bunika Police, ASP Paul Weyo, commended Dr. Muyingo for the support to the police in the area.
We are building slowly by slowly with the help of the government. Wananchi and us, we put our energy together to see that we can have something reasonable for police officers to stay in, using our small resources we have. For example, that brick project you saw there behind, the stones you saw here. We try to combine resources, and the Honorable Jesse Muyingo is helping us to supply us with cement mainly. So we are very grateful.
Relatedly, Minister Muyingo has encouraged communities in Luwero to embrace government programs aimed at poverty alleviation and cautioned them against politicizing them. He was addressing communities in Namawoja Zirowe in Bunika County. Mary Namkose, Fred Kasibante, UBC News.
Members of the Central Corridor Transit Transport Facilitation Agency have convened to Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, for a pivotal stakeholders consultative meeting. Representatives from Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, and the Democratic Republic of Congo, Zambia, Malawi, and Tanzania congregated to deliberate strategies to bolster transport logistics and trade within the region.
The Stakeholders Consultative Committee meeting, a cornerstone of the Central Corridor Transit Transport Facilitation Agency's operations, validates the corridor's work programs and offers insight into priority projects and needs of member countries.
This meeting, we do it annually, once per year. Usually it is between March and April of each year. We should do it in March or April because after the deliberation, the validation of the report, we take that deliberations, we as a secretariat, and we bring it to the decisional organ of the Central Corridor, which are the Board of Directors Committee, the Board of Directors and the Interstate Council of Ministers, in order to get the policies and the guidance to sort out the challenges on the ground.
Advocate Florio Kanju, the Executive Secretary of CCTTFA, emphasized the significance of this gathering, particularly in light of prevailing conflicts that pose challenges to maritime trade logistics.
You know, we are in the world, and if you see today, there is this war between Israel and Palestine, and now in the Red Sea, there is that issue of Houthis. Possibly this can affect, and I'm sure that this affect the global, the worldwide business in generally.
Despite these obstacles, Benjamin Bimbi, the chairperson of STACON, expressed confidence in the corridor's resilience. This optimism was echoed by Mawa Watson, the head of delegation from Uganda.
So by doing the trade, automatically that you may find that you are speaking one language, and automatically that you may find that people are living together, happy, and they are communicating in good terms. Because if we are not communicating, we cannot do business. It's without interactions.
Without the existence of an agency like the Central Corridor, that would mean that partner states would have no harmonized institutions or policies which can facilitate trade.
Key recommendations include enhanced port improvement, harmonization of road user charges among member states, and engagement with multilateral partners by the Secretariat to provide technical and financial support to Lake Tanganyika ports grappling with rising water levels. As preparations for the upcoming Council of Ministers meeting in June gain momentum, the resolve to overcome challenges and pursue collaborative solutions remains steadfast. Dennis Ikoa for UBC News.
The 2024 Uganda Boxing National Open have commenced at the National Sports Headquarters in Lugogo. The event started with weigh-ins and medical examinations, seeing a remarkable turnout of 410 boxers, including 60 female athletes representing over 40 clubs. The competition, spanning several categories, including elite, youth and juniors, promises intense bouts and fierce rivalries as fighters vie for Boxing Champions League and national team slots. The top two boxers from each weight category will earn the opportunity to compete in the Champions League and equally have bragging rights to the national team. Draws for the semi-finals of the Stanbic Uganda Cup have been held at the Fufa House in Mengo. Unlike before, where top teams featured at this stage, they were eliminated at the quarter-final stage. Kitara FC, who eliminated Giants Vipers Sports Club, will host Pajule Lions from Padel District, while Bull FC plays Neck Football Club in the other semi-final fixture. Games are expected to be played between the 27th and 28th of April. We have a look at how the draws were held.
Chitara Pajule Lions. Chitara is
That brings us to the end of all we had for you at this particular moment. We will catch you at 10 p.m. with another arrangement of news tonight. For now, enjoy the rest of the evening. My name is Micheal Jordan Lukomwa with Elizabeth Nakakoni. See you then.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
International Labour Day is celebrated every year on 1st May. This day is commemorated in appreciation of the contribution of workers to national development. It is also used to raise consciousness on the importance of promoting and protecting the rights of workers. This year, the national celebrations will be held at Mukabura Grounds, Fort Portal City, under the theme Improving Access to Labor Justice, a prerequisite for increased productivity. Join us on Wednesday, 1st May, as we bring you the celebrations live on UBC, inspiring Uganda. The Journey program on UBC TV.
Hello viewers, my name is Semogedo Gracious Chizito. I'm a director at Gaza Technical and Skills Development Center. I very much want to welcome you here to take you through our journey. This journey started way back in 2006. There were challenges by then. The war of Kony had just ended, and there were very many street children. So the late E.W. Katende, the founder, thought of an idea of coming up with a place where young men can be rehabilitated, and then be skilled to be productive in their lives. So that is how Gaza Technical and Skills Development Center started. We started with young men from northern Uganda to take them away from the place where they were taken place and to try to rehabilitate them within communities. And basically the community was here at Gayaza in Wakiso district. That is at a place called Kayebe. That's where we brought them, and then we mingled with them with the people from here to see how we can rehabilitate these people, and we gave ourselves a time frame of 2 years to rehabilitate a person, and we thought that 2 years was enough. We came up with an idea of having these people learn a skill, talk to them about their attitude, encourage them to work and do a lot of things, so that by end of 2 years they are done and they are a complete set. So Gayaza now comes in. Gayaza come in with a vision. What a vision. When we started, the vision was to transform these young people and empower these youth to living a dignified life, so that they are proud of themselves and they like what they do and they like and appreciate themselves. So basically that was the vision. And our mission was to impart extensive skills through innovative mechanisms. I'll go through the innovative mechanisms because we didn't want to do it the way everybody does it. We wanted to do it in a unique way that suits the kind of people we have here, and we had to come up with a program that will suit everybody because people are different. So, and basically what we had in our mind was to empower these young people to live their lives. So the motto was empowering people to live, or young people to live their dignified lives. So we started teaching. By then, people had not known about competency-based teaching. We are the pioneers of competence-based teaching. For us, we are looking at addressing ourselves to what a person can do rather than a person knows. So we are looking at imparting skills that could help these people do something but not know something. So this, for instance, people know a lot about cars. They know how a car can be driven. They know a car must be serviced. But particularly, how do you do it? This is what we wanted to address. And every evening we could make a campfire or special programs that would address other problems. And through that program, we have achieved a lot of things. And these are, when I take you through the achievements, you see later on how we got to this. Since then, we have graduated over 3,000 young men and women. From 2006, we have graduated over 3,000 men and women. We have placed people who have got where to do. We have placed over 1,000. We have created over 1,500 entrepreneurs, people who have started their own businesses. There are people who went in institutions. We have very many people who have joined the army. They went in as recruits, but now they are in the ICT departments, and other people have joined the police. People have joined the parastatals, like we have very many in Uganda Electricity, by then Uganda Electricity Board, now Umeme, others transmission. We have placed so many, and others are employing themselves. The people who are putting up electricity. The electricians around this place are basically, majority of them are trained from here. So that is a big achievement. And as we talk now, we have worked upon with examination centers. People can be assessed from here by the Directorate of Industrial Training, which is basically hands-on. We have UPDF, Uganda Business and Technical Examinations Board. We have a center for that. And Makerere University has allowed us also to have an examination center here for certificate and diploma in early childhood development, because the majority of the people who come here are women. So we have plenty of women, and that has led us to be looked into a model school. Now we are a model school into this vocational or competence-based learning. That is a story that has taken us a lot of time. And when people come in here, we have a lot of activities from morning. We start with the prayers, and we do interdenominational prayers. Our people go for prayers. The Muslims go to their mosques. We have a mosque. Much as we are Catholic-based school, we have a mosque, but people come, we do prayer. Through prayer, it's basically interdenominational, but we do a lot of counseling and guidance. We introduce the love of God to everybody, and that has helped us to equip these young men and women. From there, we feed them properly, and we use basically porridge. We produce our food. There's a company we are managing called Kaivesos Packers. So we make our posho, we make our porridge, we buy our beans, and that is that makes our food to be special and nutritious. So sometimes people come here, they are malnutritioned, they are thin, but by the time they leave, they are okay, and we are very proud of that. We have started this institution. It's like a mini industry. We do training with the production. Training with the production. You tell people, let us do a shirt. They do the sewing of the shirt. A person does a shirt and they produce it. We do a lot of weaving. We do a lot of baking. We do cakes here and supply them to the community. We work a lot with the community. Say for instance, we do painting, but we have free services here. People come in every morning here to do hair painting, free of charge, and we do first class. How do we do it? The learners come along with the training materials, because we tell their parents to provide them with training materials, and we use those training materials to call upon the community around our institution to paint them and beautify them, do pedicure, manicure, facial beautification, and that kind of thing. So that has linked us well with the society. We do tailoring, free tailoring and mending and that kind of thing for the community by our fashion and design class, and they have done it a lot. We do radio and TV repair. People bring in their radios and TVs and we repair for free as long as you come along with the spare parts that we tell you. So we are working within the community, and it has helped us a lot. We are a mini factory, a mini industry, but at the same time a training center. Not a school, but we are a training center that equips very many young men and women. The courses that we have here include nursery, early childhood development, commonly known as nursery teaching. There are very many children. You know, the population is growing, so there are many children around here. We've got experts that handle those children, and we train here those experts, and they are examined by Makerere University. We have over 80 young men and women in that department. We have hairdressing and salon, where a lot of things are done, like there's beauty, there's pedicure and manicure, there is painting, there is massaging, a lot of things under that department. Then we also have fashion designing, where we have weaving, where we have tailoring, garment cutting, very interesting course. Then we also have decoration. People are taught skills of how best one can bring out an occasion, the innovative ways of how an occasion can come out properly. That's a new and unique course. It's called event management and decoration, and we have very many young men and women who have joined that course, like you have seen when you went around. We also have electrical installation. We have very many young men and women in that department. They are doing electrical installation. They are doing domestic and industrial. A person can go and handle 3-phase 11 kV, those high voltage lines. They are trained here, and I can say it with a lot of authority that we are working closely with the Umeme, with the transmission, and with all the contractors of those organizations, and they come here and we provide them with manpower. We also have motor vehicle repair and maintenance. We have very many young men and women who are doing that course. Like you saw, they are equipping themselves with skills. You know, there is transforming from the manual cars to automatic cars, now from automatic cars to electrical cars. So that journey in the movement and the journey of technology, we are moving with our students through it. Like you saw, we are not using only manual. We don't use even old cars like it is commonly seen to teach our people. We get cars from the bond, new cars like you saw, and we teach these people exactly what is there now. That is what we do. Then we also have computer skills, ICT. We teach people how to repair computers and that kind of thing. So basically, those are the courses we have. We have very many challenges, and we are preparing for the challenges that are coming in. For instance, if you know very well, there is a new curriculum that is taught in secondary schools and primary schools. So the students who are coming in from secondary and primary schools are already coming in with the skills that we have been teaching. So as technical and vocational institutions, we are preparing ourselves on how best we can handle this. It's a big challenge. We need a lot of equipment, we need a lot of expertise, so we are preparing ourselves seriously. For instance, when people down there, the new lower curriculum, they will come knowing how to repair a car, knowing how to paint. But now when they come into vocational schools that are prepared for them, what we are doing, we are advancing from where those people who come from the new curriculum will have ended. Say for instance, if you have done a motor vehicle repair and maintenance, here we are going to take you through wiring, auto wiring and electrical motor vehicle repair. That cannot be handled down there. That needs a lot of expertise. We are working together with our colleagues from Germany, like you saw them around. We are working together with our Japanese colleagues. They are here trying to prepare us on how best to handle these students. And we are also working with other institutions. Like I told you, ours is a model institution. And one thing I did not tell you that I would wish you to know now is that I'm also the chairperson of Uganda Association of Private Vocational Institutions. It is an umbrella organization of over 800 private vocational institutions in Uganda. So through that association as well, we are also trying to equip other teachers other than our teachers. We are working together with the Directorate of Industrial Training, with the UPDF and all stakeholders to make sure that we prepare ourselves the best to handle people who are coming in from the new curriculum. We are finding a lot of challenges again, like I told you. We need equipment. We need a lot of equipment, modern equipment. We've had the old equipment and we are replacing them with the new high technology equipment. It's costing us a lot of money, but the beauty with it is that now government, through our interactions with it, it has waived some of the taxes, and now we can bring in these equipments. Like you saw, the computers must change. The cars we use to repair, to teach people how to repair are changing. We need the electrical cars. The manual cars we are phasing out. Maybe we put in our museum to show people where we started from. But some of the things are very expensive, and that is one of our challenges. Like I told you again, institutions now are run like industries. Through training with the production, every department must teach, train, go to the community, sell, come back, produce. So we must have equipment to produce, and we need to have a lot of space We need to have a lot of space. So we are trying to liaise with our colleagues, the neighbors, so that they give us more space for us to grow as the students' population grows. Because like I told you through our journey, we started with the 12 students in 2006. Well, by the time we got into 2015, we had 110 students. But as I talk now, like you saw, we have over 350 students. That's a big number, and there's a lot of work. It keeps us very, very, very busy. So as the students' population grows, we should also be ready and equipped to handle the growth in the students' population. So our future plans include, like I told you, expanding the institution, getting volunteers from up country to come and improve on our technology, skill our teachers to handle this, make sure that we do a lot of counseling and guidance and attitude change from our learners, and we make sure that we prepare our learners and link up with the industry. Of course, like I have indicated, there are a lot of changes taking place in the training field. A lot of changes. This competence-based teaching is changing a lot of things. The graduates in Uganda are going to change. A lot of things are going to change. For instance, the issue of looking for jobs, the issue of unemployment, the issue of job hunting, all those things are going to change because of what we are doing in our institutions. That's why I'm calling upon all parents and all stakeholders, like I'm going to say, everybody must do their own part. Government has a role to play. As institutions and instructors, we have a role to play. The parents have a role to play, and everybody, all stakeholders. I want to bring it out. The government must make sure that they work with us to do this job very well. How is government going to work with us? I'm very proud of the fact that there is a tax waiver on importing goods that are coming in as donations and that kind of thing. That is a good one. But even when we come to schools here, there are a lot of taxes, income tax, and all the taxes that are paid everywhere, they're also paid at school. I encourage the government to listen to us. We have petitioned it. There are a lot of issues. We have petitioned it through our association. The terms for registration of these institutions, the terms are too stiff. The restrictions are too many. So we are telling them, let us handle people by their category. So if an institution is a training center, let it be a training center. Let a polytechnic be a polytechnic. Let a technical school be a technical school. Let us not mix these things up. If we know who is supposed to be skilled from a technical center, let that be. A person who is supposed to be skilled from a polytechnic, let it be. A person who is supposed to be skilled in a technical institution, let that be. And a person who is supposed to be skilled at the university, let it be. And let us have a technical university in Uganda, like other institutions have done. So if we do it the right way, if government can help us and come up with good policies that help us achieve what we must achieve, then that would be best. Government should also support us train the instructors, because like now, we are equipping 250 instructors every year from very many institutions. So we want government to come and link up with us to train these instructors so that they can be able to pass on the skills to the learners. The Ministry of Education, many times they are putting up their efforts into secondary and primary school. They're not looking into vocational TVET. TVET, people are just singing about TVET, but putting the policy, up to now we do not have a policy at TVET. The policy bill is not out. We are working on the BTVET Act that maybe has passed and it can no longer work for us. So we are calling upon government to move fast in passing the bills that are going to help us, and to make sure that the bills suit the environment in the technical schools. That is why we want government to come in. We want the parents as well to make sure that, you know, when people come to technical and vocational schools, parents want to throw to us people who have failed here and there, people who are addicts, people who cannot work on that and that. We are telling the parents that we want quality here. We want people who can be transformed very fast. Much as we have that aspect of rehabilitation, but the process of training is slowed down by the process of rehabilitation. So if we have the quality from the new curriculum, and then we get these people, then we will have the best. And if parents work with us and equip their learners and we keep their children with the material, you know, training materials are very expensive in technical schools, very expensive. So because a person can pay, for instance, here tuition, a person pays 595,000. 595,000 per quarter. We have 3 quarters a year. So if a person pays 595,000, you've got to feed that person from that amount of money. You've got to accommodate, because that includes accommodation. You've got to train, and in training use a lot of equipment. These children come here and spoil a lot of these things. You can import in here high technology machines, and they are mishandled by the students, or sometimes the stealing culture, they want to steal these things and take them out to the market. So we have to have proper security for us to handle. That's why you saw we have cameras in almost all the workshops, cameras all over the school, because we are also fighting the enemy within. Some of these students who are not brought up do a lot of destruction. So those are some of the challenges. The quality of the teachers has also been lacking. To tell you the fact, in Uganda we don't have very many institutions that come up with the good teachers in technical and skills training. For instance, we have one private technical teacher training institution called Carriot. It is the one that is training the teachers to work within the 800 training centers that we have. So that's already a lot. We are stretched. We are stretched a lot, and that is why the quality of teachers sometimes is lacking. But as an institution, we have come up with an academy. We have come up with an academy that particularly trains teachers with what we want them to be. We have done a lot. We have worked with a lot of partners, including the Carriot Institution, including the Directorate of Industrial Training, including UPDF, including our volunteers from Germany and everywhere, to make sure that this teacher now is changed from giving notes, from providing knowledge, to providing competences. Vocational training is the only way to go in Uganda for people to have a workforce that is going to produce and lift our economy. Because things are moving into industry, we are industrializing. The computer technology or the ICT technology has also come in. So the issue now is the costs of bringing in here material, the costs of bringing in here goods. Like you saw during COVID, we could not import in things here, but we had to live for almost 2 years. So if a country does not prepare itself for such environment, if a country cannot produce its own products through their own industries and depend on the importation, that does not help an economy grow, and that's why people remain poor. But if schools, if industries all do production, then you see a country rising very fast. You see the revenue of a country growing very, very, very fast, and the tax base will even widen up, so that a country grows very fast and the government can afford to do its own stuff. Teachers, especially in government schools, do a lot of striking. you know, the imbalance is there. Even as I talk today, it is also in technical schools. The science teachers are paid highly, and those ones who are not science teachers are not paid as well as the science teachers. So there is that imbalance. People are not happy because when we transform a person, we are working as a team. It's not the science person alone who does that. We are working as a team. Say, for instance, a person who teaches entrepreneurship is very vital here. A person who teaches maybe language is very important, but if you look at a person who teaches science alone, then it becomes a very, very big problem. But now we are saying let us work together as a team to skill these people so that they are able to produce, they are able to utilize the resources in our country, the raw materials in our country, and come up with the products that will even be exported so that we even get revenue from other people. Let us not waste a lot of time in politicking, in riots, in strikes. Let us concentrate and learn, because those things are not going to help us. What is going to help us is being able to produce what you are going to eat. But if you put your mentality fighting a real and perceived enemy, then you are going to forget what you are supposed to do. As I conclude, I want to thank all stakeholders into the TVET industry. I want to thank the policy, our commissioner, Madame Loy. I want to thank her and her team. I want to thank the Minister of Education, like I have mentioned. I want to thank His Excellency, the President, who is supporting us to do all this transformation. I want to thank all the providers of this technical education, like private and government. I want to thank my family that has supported this institution. Was started by my father and brother, that is Senior Superintendent of Prisons, E.W. Katende late, and Reverend Father Bwowe. I want to thank them very much, because we are working with them to make sure that we work together and promote their vision. I want to thank my other family members, my wife and children who have supported me, and all other family members. I want to thank all stakeholders who are into this thing. I want to thank the members and directors of Uganda Association of Private Vocational Institutions that are working together with the government to promote technical education. And I want to encourage people to come and visit us. We are located at Gayaza town. When you get to Gayaza town, there's a place called Mirembe Stage. You go to Mirembe Stage, you get to a road called Mapera Drive. Mapera Drive is the road that goes from Mirembe through the market, Gayaza market, and then after passing the Magistrates Court, slightly after, you'll find us at Gayaza Technical and Skills Development Center. If you want to get in touch with me to know a lot more, I am on 0772 458 441 or 0702 458 441. We are here to impart skills. We are here to transform people's lives. We are here to support. We are here to change lives for God and my country.
UBC